Hello, my lovelies. How are you? It is Anne Alexon here. You can tell because this is my face. And thanks so much for joining me. As you join in, I would absolutely love for you to say hello. Let me know where you are. Let me know what's going on with you. I've had a super interesting day. I've had a super interesting life. I've had a super interesting I meant to say week, not life. Although my life has been super interesting, as has yours, whether you know it or not. So if you join me, say hello, let me know that you're here, let me know how you're doing today. And I want to talk to you I want to continue, I guess, the conversation about affirmations and about the fact that most of them don't work. But I also want to share with you today which ones do work, but more importantly, why they work. So come and join me. Let me know what's up with you, what's going on, and we'll have a conversation about affirmations. And I'm willing for you to argue with me. And if it's been your experience that affirmations work 100% of the time and with 100% of things, then I'd certainly welcome your perspective. And I will be sharing my perspective on why mostly they don't work and which ones do work. And I'll tell you why those ones work. And it's a really simple um, thing because I'm all about simplicity and practicality. My favourite expression is KISS, keep it simple and spiritual, and that's the way that I do things. So if that's of interest to you, stick around as I share more about that. I have had an incredible day today. In so much as, well, I think with the new month, which started for us here in Australia yesterday, it is the second here now, late in the afternoon on the second. But I have a real sense for not just me, but for many of us, that July is going to be a turning point for us when it comes to our spiritual growth, our personal growth, our knowing who we truly are. You know, this evolution that we're going through, this shift, this quantum, I'm not going to say quantum leap because it's a minute by minute, very, very slow, century by century. Not, yes, I can say century by century because it was last century as well as this century. It started last century and it's still continuing, but we are getting ever and ever slowly closer to what it is that we are heading towards. And of course, what we are heading towards the uh, is a place where we know our true self, where we become self-actualized, not at the human level, but beyond that level. So that's what it's all about. This is why we're going through the things that we're going through. Every single thing that we're going through at the moment on the world stage is an invitation for each of us personally to be triggered. We're triggering ourselves through outside events to be triggered and to heal whatever needs to be healed within us around that trigger. Because what we're heading for, what we're creating for ourselves, truly is heaven on earth. And heaven on earth is accessible by stepping into total self sovereignty and self empowerment. And that means that things are going to be different than they are now. And so it's a great idea to jump in now and start doing some of the things in the new way so that you can, I guess, be there before the others. You know, be the one on the bleeding edge, be the one taking the quantum leap before anybody else does, so that you can then reach out and invite others to take that leap as well. So, just having a quick look, I don't know what goes on with this new stuff in Facebook Lives, the new settings, and I'm curious. Nope, I'm looking for, I'm just looking for, to get familiar with these settings in this new Facebook Live that I'm using. Because right now, I can't see that anybody's watching. I don't know if anybody is. I'm going to assume, because it's not showing me anything and there's no comments coming up, I'm going to assume that I am live, but that nobody's here listening to me. And so, oh, let's have a look. Oh, that's very interesting. Wow. Very interesting. Sorry, I should come back to you. I'm getting distracted by all of the different things that you can see in the back end of the Facebook Live now. Hello, Kelly. Thanks for letting me know that you're here. How are you doing? How's your day been? And I want to talk today. Hello, Jennifer. Lovely to see you. Always. So I've been yakking on for about 6 minutes now. Oh, there's 7. Okay, thank you, Leanne. Thanks, guys, for letting me know that you're here, because I wasn't just sure. I just couldn't see. I haven't figured out this behind the scenes of the new Facebook Live at this point, but I will make a point of doing so that I don't sit here thinking that I'm talking to myself and not getting into the good stuff, because I am thinking that I'm waiting on someone to arrive. Of course, you're already here. Of course, I should know that without a doubt. And it doesn't matter if you don't arrive anyway. That's not what it's all about. So, as I was saying, I've been having an amazing day today, and I'm feeling this real shift for July for everybody, where we truly are stepping into not just knowing the concepts around oneness and law of attraction, but in fact actually embodying them, becoming or living from these what are currently concepts. And I'm speaking of it like that to be very clear. Most people are not living the concepts. They know them as concepts. They talk about them. Many people teach them, but they do not embody them and do not live from that knowing. And it's very easy to spot those people. I'll talk to you about that on another day. But what I want to do today is talk to you from that next level of oneness and the law of attraction. If I just call it that because it's easy, right? It's just the truth of the universe. And from that place, that next level where we're now moving into, I wanted to talk to you about affirmations. So I posted yesterday about how affirmations don't work, and I wanted to just come on today and talk about when they do work, why they work, and which ones work, because there are some that work and some that just don't work. And there's a very good reason for why the ones that don't work, and a very good reason for why the ones that do work do work. So let me start with that. Let me start by saying that most affirmations that we use, sure, individually, depending on where we are energetically and all of those things, some of these will work some of these will work for some people, but as a majority, um, they won't work for most people, and they won't work consistently, and they won't work on it over time all the time. In other words, they're not an all the time thing. They're a sometime thing. So it depends on how you're feeling, it depends on what your energy is like, it depends on your belief systems, as we all know. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. So let me tell you which ones don't work. The ones that don't work are the ones where we use the statement I am, and please, I fully acknowledge that I've taught the I am affirmations. I've encouraged people to use them, and I have used them myself. And that's not to say that what I've done before is wrong, but I've now moved to a place where I understand things a little differently and a little better, in my opinion, anyway. And so, again, I want to say that I have taught these concepts. I'm not saying that everyone who's teaching them is wrong and all of these sorts of things. We're all at the level that we're at. We're all learning what we're learning because we need to learn it. There's nothing going wrong here. Nothing going wrong at all because we can't get it wrong, right? When we are in oneness and living that, we cannot get it wrong. Now, so back to what I was saying. I am affirmations. The ones that don't work are the ones, thank you, train, for that exclamation point. The ones that don't work are the ones that say things like, I am, and these, so there's something that has a judgmental energy on it. In other words, what I'm saying to you is, I am rich as opposed to I am poor. So anything that's got an opposite that is a lower negative judgment around it, they don't work with those words. So I am rich won't work consistently and every single time. I'm not saying it doesn't work ever, but it will not work consistently and every single time for every single person. I'm being very clear about that. I am rich. I am thin. I am I am rich, I am thin, all of those outer type of things. I am the owner of a BMW. I am uh, creating a multi-million-dollar business. I am a millionaire. All of these sorts of things. So the outer things, they won't work with consistently and every single time for every single person. Because when you say I am and then state whatever it is that we've just said, based around an outside circumstance or an outside thing, a thing that's outside of you, they won't work consistently all the time for every single person because they don't hold truth for many, many people. And until they hold truth, obviously, when they hold truth, they will work beautifully if you continue to say it. But whilst they don't hold any truth, they're not serving you, they're not helping you, they're most likely keeping you stuck. Or, in my experience personally, they were actually making things worse for me. When I first started learning all about the law of attraction, and when I first started teaching it, because I'm an internationally certified law of attraction coach, although I've never done law of attraction coaching. Um, so when I first started learning about it and using these sorts of things and teaching them to people, I actually, my life got much, much harder. My life got harder, my income went down, everything kind of collapsed down to almost as though I had to take the journey down to the bottom in order to be able to get myself back out in my own way so that I could share that with others as well. And perhaps it's the same for you. So I am, and if you follow that up with something that's an external result, they don't work consistently every single time for every single person. They do work if that is a truth for you. Now, more importantly, the ones that do work, because we all love the ones that work, right? The ones that are things like, I am love, I am lovable, I am perfect just the way that I am getting better every single day, I am healthy. These ones will work because each of those words that I've just used are actual truths about you. They are truths about you that you've been denying. And so when you start to state it, it's simply your body, your physical body, where you embody these things, knows that as a truth. It's what I call spiritual truth. So if you are saying, I am love, and it feels good, and you start to notice that things are shifting around that area for you, then of course they are. Because I am that I am. When you make that statement, I am love, I am the universe made manifest, I am whatever it is that's an actual truth at the highest level, Hi, Annette. The truth at the highest level from you and your universal self, from your oneness self. I am love is an absolute truth. From your oneness self, I am rich is not an absolute truth, right? Not every single time, not for every single person. And that's the difference. And that's why some affirmations work and others don't. So, what I now do is I use affirmations from the oneness level. I use affirmations that speak to the spiritual truth of who I really am and who each and every one of us really is. The physical manifestation of all that is we can't get it wrong. We are love, we are the universe, all of these sorts of things, creator of our reality. So when we use the I am and the affirmation statements around those truths in capital letters, of course they work. The ones that don't work consistently every single time for every single person are the ones that are based on a result of something that you as a human being want to have in your life. Now, again, I want to just again say they do work for some people some of the time, but they don't work for every single person every single time with consistency, and that's the difference. So, use affirmations that are around who you truly are in the world, who you truly are, and then use something different, what I call questions being the answer. Do it differently when you're asking for the things that you want. For instance, if you want to be rich, by the way, if you say I am wealthy, that is an absolute spiritual truth. You can actually feel the energy of it. So breathe and say it with me. I am wealthy. And you can feel the resonance of the truth within you because that is a true statement. You are wealthy. Now, if you say I am rich, that's a different story altogether because that's a human thing, right? And you understand what I'm saying here. So instead of saying I am rich, or some of the other ones, so use affirmations for spiritual truths about who you are at the highest level, and use these other things, they're called affirmations, for what is truth or what you wish to be truth at a human level. And these things are just asking a question. Instead of making a statement, I am this, make ask a question. So you could say something like, instead of saying I am rich, you would say something like, why is it true that every single day I wake up and my bank account is filled with more money than it was the day before? And why is it true that when I realised that I was one with all that is, all of a sudden I remembered that money is also one with all that is. And in that remembering, I allowed the floodgates to open, and all of all of the riches that I've been asking for many years poured into my life. And I'll stop there. I could keep going because that's what I would suggest that you do. You just keep going over and over and over again. Do like a little truth rant, if that's what you want to call it. That will work far, 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 far better than affirmations that say I am rich, because your body registers that as an untruth. It's not in alignment with who you really are. It's a human desire. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because we're both, aren't we? We're the higher self and the physical manifestation of all that is, and we are a human being. So it's not about neglecting one and favouring the other. It's actually about bringing the two together. This is where we're going with our evolution, with the way the world is changing. It's about bringing your human self and your higher self, or your light body. I often used to say it's about becoming your light body walking on this earth as a human being. So becoming your God self, your highest self. Beautiful, Cindy. Cindy, I love that. Why do I always have more money than I need? I'd actually take the need out of it, though, you see. And I would say something like, why do I always have more money than I could possibly use in my lifetime? Or something to that effect. I just feel the energy of more than I need. It kind of puts a stop on it. Why do I always have more money than I need? It feels like there's an end to that. Whereas why do I always have more money than I could possibly use in my lifetime? It feels more expansive to me, and that's just me. That could feel super expansive to you, and that's great as well. It's all about what works for you as an individual and as a individualized physical manifestation of all that is. Thank you guys for joining me this afternoon. It's been fun. I hope I've been clear with what I've been talking about. And I will thank you, Cindy. That's great. And keep an eye out. I'm planning on going live a lot more. My life's gotten super exciting lately. Everything is just flowing. Amazing sessions with clients. In fact, I've had one uh, who gave me some feedback today. I did a group session on Saturday, and I know one or two people here were part of that group session. And this amazing client who joined the session had said to me, sent me a message just telling me how amazing the session was and how hello, happy birthday, Leslie. That's wonderful. Um, so she came to a group class. It was a low cost group class. We did it on Zoom. There were 12 people, I think it was. And she has told me today that after her she had a death in her family about 11 or 12 months ago, and since then she's not done her work in the world. She does hypnotherapy and she hasn't been able to do it. She hasn't felt confident to do it with any clients. And today she had her first session come back after what happened on the weekend and the shifts that she went through. She's immediately gotten straight back into doing it, and she'd been trying to do it for months and months, but it just hasn't been happening. So it was absolutely magical. Um, some of the what else did she say? I'm just trying to remember. She just felt so powerful. Um, Everything made sense. And she realised through um, the the group session that we did that she started to embody the truth of who she really was, and so she started to feel that power and that confidence, and everything that she felt was missing. You know, she's feeling confident about the direction of her future business. Um, she feels she's on top of it. She's got it. Confident that she can do it, and she's been told for years and years and years that she should develop her psychic skills, and all of a sudden she realised that she actually can develop it just by knowing who she truly is. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about embodying the truth of who you really are. And affirmations, in the way that I've spoken of them, are the things that are going to help you to do that. So thanks so much for joining me. Thanks, Darlene, for joining me. You missed most of us, so if you've just gotten here, you might want to watch the replay. And if you're watching on the replay, make sure that you comment, let me know that you're here, ask any questions that you've got, because I will come back and reply to anything at all. And of course, I will look forward to seeing you again the next time I go live. As I mentioned, I am planning on doing that a lot more often. If you're watching this somewhere else and you haven't liked my page, please do so, because that's where I go live mostly. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you again soon.